I hope you all are doing well. I am Shifali Singh, Legal Research Fellow and Executive Management Associate at ESF, and I will be moderating our session today. The COVID-19 pandemic has brought our world to a halt. We are currently witnessing numerous changes, good and bad. While the world is going through an economic slump, hunger, and disease as the virus spreads, we are also treated by the swell of a bird song in the cities, peacocks dancing at traffic crossings, and even the silence in the skies, which is really just aesthetic. WHO has been vehemently talking about the One Health principle of recognizing interconnection between people, animal, plants, and their shared environment. So I welcome you all to this panel discussion where our experts will go in depth on how to live sustainably in the post-COVID era. Joining us in this panel discussion are Mr. Krishna. Mr. Krishna is the strategy head at Yash Pakka Limited and works towards providing the world with compostable packaging solutions. Mr. Krishna has a background in management from University of North London and Indian School of Business and is currently pursuing a master's in biomimicry from Arizona State University. He has led and been part of various organizations such as CIIUP, Indian Pulp, and Paper Technical Association, etc. Next is Ms. Rita Bharadawaj. Ms. Rita Bharadawaj is a consulting nutritionist and is associated with a leading clinical research organization for meal planning for various bioavailability, bioequivalence, and clinical trial studies. She is also the author of the book, What, When, and How to Eat. She is a member of Nutrition Society of India, National Institute of Nutrition, and Indian Diabetics Association. She has also taught nutrition as a subject to postgraduate students and has worked as a guest faculty for a multinational company to impart knowledge on nutrition and company sales to the company sales channels. And lastly, Ms. Chandarprabha Sharma. Chandarprabha Sharma is our Samvarta Foundation CEO and co-founder and a public policy consultant. Her extensive experience in public policy includes consulting for New York City, where she advised on how to make over 1,800 school buildings more sustainable. She has also consulted for MPs and other government departments in India on river conservation, climate change mitigation, and sustainable development. I welcome all the panelists. It is so good to have you all among us. Let's start with the discussion. Many of our viewers might be wondering what the topic of today's discussion, One Health, is all about. Ms. Chandarprabha, if you could please explain this concept and also tell us how this principle has become more relevant in today's scenario.
Well, thanks for leading us into this very important discussion, Shifali. I'm so happy to be here with my co-panelists. To begin with One Health, what I'll do is this video is going live on Facebook right now, just to get our viewers to do a little exercise on just thinking what health in the first place is all about to them, right? So the first reaction you'll see when you ask somebody, okay, what is health to you? It'll be, hey, I don't want cholesterol, I don't want any cardiac issues, I want to stay fit and all of that. What COVID-19 has taught us, though, is that One Health, the principle, is actually that human health is not just about us as individuals. It's also linked in a very intricate manner with animals and our planet. So COVID-19 is this, compulsion and this disaster that's sort of shaken us into, it's kind of shook us into, reimagining what health means to us. One Health, the term itself, is a triad of three things. It's humans, animals, and the planet and the entire environment. So it's three things. Most importantly, to raise awareness and emphasizing the fact that if you behave in a way that affects the planet in any way, it comes back to you, right? So with respect to the term, though, the importance is two-part. The first is the term itself. And why do you need a term like this? I mean, it's quite obvious, okay, health is related to planet, planet's related to why is the term required? The analogy here, I'll draw it with sustainable development. If you ask people, hey, do you know about sustainable development? chances are that largely the population will be able to say that, yeah, okay, I have some sense of what sustainable development means. And that in itself, when people identify with sustainable development, their actions can be molded in a way. A lot of people don't know what One Health is all about, and hence we're doing this discussion here. So the term, and really after COVID-19, popularizing the term so that it can nudge behavior positively. And then, so first thing was the term. The second thing is the behavior coming out of One Health. You would have seen how when studies and experts said that, hey, it's possibly coming from bats, what was our reaction? Our reaction was to cull those bats and, go on a rampage of just killing the species, instead of thinking and introspecting, hey, what is it that we did to fall prey to the coronavirus? So that's mainly One Health, and why is it important in the post-COVID era? So thanks for leading this discussion, Shefali. It's a very important topic.
I completely agree, Ms. Chandarprabha. We live in a very interconnected ecosystem. Mr. Ved, you have adopted a plant-based diet, which is a lot more sustainable. Can you tell us what led you to embark upon this journey?
That's a very long sort of answer, so I'm going to try and keep it short. But mera jo transition hai towards, I was a full-blown non-vegetarian, by the way, till I was 30. So मैं पूरा सब कुछ खाता था. इनफैक्ट एक दोस्त ने अभी हाल में फेसबुक पे पोस्ट किया कि ये 26 टाइप के मीट्स हैं जो इंसान रेगुलरली खाता है अलग अलग जगहों में वर्ल्ड के. तो उसमें से मेरा एक दोस्त आया, उसने बोला कि मैं 6 टाइप के इसमें खाता हूँ 26 टाइप में. तो मैंने बोला अच्छा ठीक है, मैं भी देखता हूँ मैं कितने खाता था या कितने खाए हैं मैंने. I eaten 22 of the 26, so that is the kind of non-vegetarian I was, and I traveled a lot. तो इस वजह से पहले ये था कि भाई जो भी दूसरा खा सकता है मैं भी खा सकता हूँ. But my transition wasn't that moral oriented or oriented through even the love for the planet. That was there, but it evolved differently. Mera was more oriented. Mera was more naturally oriented because I got into a certain kind of meditation. And उस समय जो लोग मुझे सिखा रहे थे वो मेडिटेशन, मैंने उनसे बोला कि मैं इसको रेगुलरली प्रैक्टिस कर सकता हूँ क्या? तो उन्होंने बोला हाँ हाँ बिल्कुल कर सकते हो आप. लेकिन फिर उन्होंने पलट के बोला लेकिन यार तुम नॉनवेज नहीं खा पाओगे. तो आई लुक्ड एट देम, आई सेड कि मतलब कि नॉनवेज नहीं खा सकता हूँ या कुछ और? तो बोला नहीं तुम्हारा शरीर रिजेक्ट करने लग जाएगा नॉनवेज. तो आई स्टार्टेड लाफिंग एट देम. आई सेड यार तुम मम्बो जम्बो लोग कुछ भी बोलते हो, एंड आई विल प्रूव यू रॉन्ग. बट लिटरली एक हफ्ते में आई कुड नॉट टेक इन रेड मीट. Maybe a month of struggle with white chicken, and maybe another few months of fish. Then eggs went out, then milk went out. It just sort of kept going out because then I got deeper into practices which were more aligning with the universe. Chandarprabha ne baat kahi ki everything is one at the end. And when you realize that and you connect with the energy whole, you get guided. So it's not a very moralistic perspective. It is more a connected perspective, I would say, that has led me to the kind of food I consume, the lifestyle I lead, the work I do. So everything gets connected to the whole, what Chandarprabha was saying, the whole idea of it being the one universe. The more you align with that, it guides you. You don't need religion, you don't need doctrine, you don't need anything else. Everything else is guided.
That sounds like a really impressive and remarkable journey. Adopting a plant-based diet does come with a set of challenges, but it is rewarding as well. Ms. Bharadawaj, people often have doubts that a plant-based diet is not as nutritious as a meat or dairy-based diet. As a clinical nutritionist, what are your thoughts about that?
No, it's not true actually. First of all, I would like to tell you that in this era, this COVID-19 or post-COVID-19, everyone is asking when life will get back to normal after COVID-19 crisis. So instead of focusing on the crisis, we should learn from our mistakes and use this opportunity to upgrade ourselves. That is our life and lifestyle, building something better for our future generations. So nutrition is not the diet. It's not only the diet. This is re-engineering of mental, physical, and social well-being. So we still don't know how the COVID virus will play out. Researchers, doctors, pharma companies, health specialists are all in dilemma, researching hard for the cure, but nobody knows what would be the outcome after 2-3 months. So what we can do, not only diet, not only food, we have to prepare one action plan. And number one, we have to work upon physical health, adopt healthy food habits, boost up your immunity, be fitter than your current health status. We will discuss in detail this topic, health status, and social and mental health. Then, social and mental health means we should sync with nature. This pandemic is one of the outcome of a dysfunctional relationship with nature. Studies show deforestation and alteration in our ecosystem cause an increase in infectious diseases. So this time, this is the need to save the ecosystem. Why I'm talking about ecosystem? Because the next step would be why I should be a vegetarian. Why should we adopt a vegetarian diet? Why vegetarian diet? Because it will save our ecosystem, whether it is carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, or water cycle. A vegetarian diet is rich in fibers, vitamins, minerals, antioxidants. This is the only way to get phytofactors. Phytofactors are fighters. Phytofactors are phytonutrients, which we can get from vegetarian diet only. So being vegetarian is the natural way to detox the body, whereas fish and meat contains a lot of residue from toxic chemicals. According to a study, it has been observed that the bodies of carnivorous animals contains 10 times more hydrochloric acid than herbivorous animals. So हर्बीवोरस में इतना हाइड्रोक्लोरिक एसिड है ही नहीं जिसको कि वो मीट को डाइजेस्ट कर सके. So then what about our human body? Human body does not have this huge amount of HCl to digest the meat and meat products. So our body is designed in such a way that it can digest plant-based foods. Just remember our sadhus, they adopted nature, they conserve our ecosystem, and nature also gifted them excellent physical and mental health. So from the nutrition point of view, the basic and most important benefit of the vegetarian diet is it is rich in fibers, and people having fiber-rich diet have a low incidences of diseases like coronary heart diseases, intestinal cancers, piles, obesity, diabetes, constipation, hernia, diverticulitis, irritable bowel syndrome, dental caries, gallstones, and the list is endless. A diet consisting of whole grains, legumes, pulses, fruits, vegetables, nuts, oil seeds, milk and milk products are very good source of complex carbohydrates, proteins, vitamins and minerals. You must have heard that plants have superpower. Yes, like moringa leaves, beet greens, sprouts, microgreens, drumstick leaves, mint, coriander, these all are superfoods. They provide us the full spectrum of all the essential nutrients which are needed to boost our immunity. Cumin seeds, turmeric, ginger, tulsi, basil, parsley, jasmine flower, lemongrass, betel leaf, all are immunity boosters. In the future, our survival would be based on our immunity only. We have to learn how to adopt healthy food habits. You must have heard about ORAC also. It is oxygen radical absorbance capacity. So if we consume food items having higher ORAC value or ORAC levels, better will be oxygen carrying capacity of blood and lungs. In nutshell, now onwards, the whole world would be focusing on health benefits of each and every food item. That would be the new normal. Let's talk about foods having higher ORAC scores. Turmeric, tulsi, clove, cinnamon, parsley, ginger, lemongrass, mulethi, bacopa, means brahmi, ashwagandha. There is a long list of these immunity boosters. As we are adopting new quick methods of cooking, ready to eat meals or fast food, junk food, we are growing, you know what we are doing? We are just growing distant from our roots, from our superfoods. But this COVID-19 has reminded us to rethink about our health status. Here I want to mention one myth. We often hear people say you should increase your protein levels to be healthy. So take meat and meat products. This is completely a myth. We have enough proteins in our vegetarian food. So this was your question. So we have protein in legumes, pulses, in dry fruits, nuts, oil seeds. That is not important what source we are eating. The important is how we are complementing these sources according to their essential amino acid score. Like dal and rice is a perfect combination. And again, method of cooking. Then what, when, how to eat, the timings of meal, and with this meal preparation, the balanced life. If anyone is having a good amount of nuts and seeds, around 2 servings of pulses and legumes, 2 servings of milk and milk products, he can fulfill the RDA of protein. RDA is recommended dietary allowance. So this is very easy to get protein from natural sources or from vegan diet or from vegetarian diet. Our action plan to survive should be based upon the balanced life, balanced diet, balanced physical exercise, and social well-being. Only diet cannot do anything. These are 4 pillars of health, and they go hand in hand. So we have to think about holistic health approach, not only diet. So this is the nutritional adoption of a plant-based diet. Now, how one can shift from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet, that could be a question.
Yeah, I think we'll get to that. Very important question.
I certainly
Yes, that
learned
is
a
very
lot from
important.
this.
Yeah.
Because everyone is saying you should shift from meat-based diet to plant-based diet. You should not eat meat. You should not be. You should be vegetarian. पर कैसे? वो कोई नहीं बता रहा है. What should be the steps? How you can shift from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet? There should be a strategy.
Yes,
There are
ma'am,
so many
certainly.
steps. You should handle this very carefully. Number one step is you should start very slowly. Gradual changes should be there in your diet pattern. And number two, you have to list out your nutritional needs. And then again, the most important thing, palatability. If food is not palatable, then person won't be ready to shift his food choices. Then environmental factors. You have to tell that person, if you are living in a cold region, this shift would be based on dry fruits, nuts, oil seeds like sesame seeds, flax seeds, chia seeds, almonds, walnuts, etc. If person is in hot region, then pulses, legumes, dairy should be the preference. This is based on hot and cold nature of food. In Hindi, we say tasir or prakriti of the food. सो तासीर के हिसाब से खाना चेंज करना है, स्लोली स्टेप बाय स्टेप खाना चेंज करना है. एंड सबसे इंपॉर्टेंट चीज, न्यूट्रिशनल नीड्स को एनलिस्ट करके, इफ पर्सन इज डूइंग एक्सरसाइज, उसको ज्यादा प्रोटीन का जरूरत है, देन he should list out his nutritional requirement. Accordingly, he should get a perfect diet plan, and this action plan should be the tool to shift from a meat-based diet to a plant-based diet.
Sure.
I certainly
this was
learned
the
a lot from
nutritional
this, ma'am.
approach. This was the just a nutritional approach.
Yeah.
From nutrition point of view, we have to look after all these points. These factors are actually important.
Thank you, ma'am. I hope our viewers found it as helpful as we did. Let us discuss a bit about the theories that suggest the origin of COVID was a wet market that suggests that the origin of COVID was a wet market in Wuhan, China. Mr. Ved, my question is for you. As an avid traveler, what cross-cultural lessons would you share with us regarding these plant-based diets, and also the need to put a stop to these pet markets?
So I have a huge problem because मैं यात्रा बहुत करता हूँ और कई ऐसे देशों में जाने का मुझे मौका मिलता है जहाँ सड़कों पे चलने में अब दिक्कत होती है मुझे। अब ये स्थिति आ गई है कि मैं सेम किचन जो कि नॉनवेज कुक करता है उससे मुझे खाने में दिक्कत होती है। तो अगर मैं वियतनाम जैसे देश में हूँ या थाईलैंड जैसे देश में हूँ या चाइना जैसे देश में हूँ और उनकी मुझे सड़कों पे घूमने का बहुत शौक है, तो मैं आवारागर्दी बहुत करता हूँ, just go for walks and see कि क्या what is the feel of the place. लेकिन it's a huge problem. अभी भी I was spending a month in a part of Thailand, तो वहाँ पे भी कीड़े मकोड़ों को भी तल के खाते हैं। So there are scorpions, there are cockroaches, there are various. It's just horrendous actually. So coming from जो मेरा अभी तक समझ है actually, and probably I also come from the space of packaging, compostable packaging, as you talked about. मेरे हिसाब से अगर आप पैकेजिंग के बिना खाना चालू कर दें, अर्थ भी सही हो जाएगी और आप भी सही हो जाएंगे। तो मेन चीज वो है कि पैकेजिंग वाला खाना ना खाएं और जिंदा खाना खाएं। Eat alive foods, don't eat dead foods. So those are the two things. अभी problem क्या है कि everything is in a packaged form. And even though I come from the packaging industry, it will be a very strong advice. Don't consume anything from a package. It is absolutely nutritionally useless. In fact, it is harmful. So कोई भी pastas, potato chips, biscuits, chocolates, whatever it is, whatever comes in a package, don't take it. Take everything that is non-packaged and eat as alive as you can. Eat as close to the source as you can. कि अगर भाई आई एम फॉर्चुनेट टू लिव ऑन अ फार्म, तो ज्यादातर सब्जियां जो हैं वो खाने के पहले गार्डन से आती हैं. I just want to put in a couple of points based on what Rita ji was talking about. I actually don't think we are. I'm not from the nutrition domain, so it's only based on my reading, since I'm not a researcher. But nature में क्या है कि everything is interconnected. Again, going back to what Chandarprabha said, so we have to take inspiration. हमको जो हमारे को एक दूसरे से जो प्रकृति है उसमें बहुत चीजें सीखने को मिलती हैं. तो हमारे से क्लोजेस्ट कौन है प्रकृति में? तो हमारे से क्लोजेस्ट जो है वो प्राइमेट्स हैं. तो प्राइमेट्स का जो डीएनए है वो हमसे सबसे ज्यादा मिलता जुलता है. तो अगर हम उनके खाद्य पदार्थों को देखेंगे तो आप देखेंगे they typically will eat फल खाएंगे, nuts खाएंगे on in a natural circumstance. फल, nuts and sweet fruits. Those are the three things they eat. And even they don't cook their food. So we are the only ones who are cooking and changing the nutrition. As soon as we heat a food, uska nutrition value change ho jata hai. So the closest we can go to that diet, it'll be more aligned to our body and we'll eat fresher. And that'll make a big change. And I don't know how it will happen in countries which आपने जो सवाल पूछा, because इतना ज़्यादा non-veg है उन countries में कि for them to even think about it is difficult. What I find in places like China, Taiwan, Japan is that वो for meat, मतलब कि वो meat soy से या seitan से gluten से meat का एक alternate बनाते हैं. परंतु वो भी is not a live food because it's a manufactured food. So it's not really best for diet. So I don't have an answer to कि लोग shift कैसे करेंगे. But yeah, this is the way I feel about food.
I completely agree, Mr. Krishna. A lot of people don't know that meals lose their nutritional value due to packaging, and that was a very interesting fact that you put up. Recently, a lot of pictures and videos have surfaced on the internet that show animal byproducts like tiger bones, etc., that are being sold to make medicines. They are myths that show that they have medicinal values. So my question is to Ms. Bharadwaj, is there any scientific evidence to support these practices?
See, if you are talking about only traditional Chinese medicines, then we should never forget that each civilization has its own unique geographical and cultural specifications. Each civilization uses nature, its flora and fauna, according to their atmospheric environment and geographical aspects. So, Chinese herbs and medicines may be good for them, but it's not good for all. And of course, अपनी ही जड़ें काटेंगे तो survive कैसे करेंगे? Now, at this moment of time, they are not following this thing. if any traditional or any civilization exploits the nature with the help of which it bloomed, nature will reply. और रिप्लाई किया भी है, बहुत ज्यादा इंटेंसिटी के साथ रिप्लाई किया है. ये जो इस वक्त कोविड-19 क्राइसिस है, दिस इज द रिजल्ट ऑफ दिस खिलवाड़ जो प्रकृति के साथ किया है, उसी का नतीजा है. तो ये तो कभी भी सही हो ही नहीं सकता कि आप नेचर को खत्म करके या किसी भी तरह से नेचर के साथ खिलवाड़ करके आप मेडिसिन बना रहे हैं और सिर्फ वही मेडिसिन इफेक्टिव होंगी. यस, वहाँ की जियोग्राफिकल डिमांड किसी समय ऐसी हो सकती थी, आज के टाइम पर नहीं है. हम लोग ओरिजिन हुए हैं इंडस वैली सिविलाइजेशन से, तो हमारा जो तरीका है, जो ट्रेडिशंस हैं, जो कन्वेंशनल मेडिसिन हैं, हर्ब्स हैं, वो डिफरेंट हैं. चाइनीज सिविलाइजेशन के डिफरेंट हैं, हर सिविलाइजेशन के डिफरेंट होंगे. तो वी कैन नॉट से दैट दिस इज रॉन्ग. किसी टाइम पर ये ठीक रहे होंगे, बट एट प्रेजेंट मोमेंट इट्स नॉट राइट. यस, ये नेचर को खत्म कर रहे हैं.
That was an incredible insight, Ms. Bharadawaj. Ms. Chandarprabha, what are the lessons that we derived that COVID-19 originated from wet markets? What are the lessons we derived from that?
Okay, so some of the studies are saying that the coronavirus came out of the wet market consumption in Wuhan. Our immediate reaction again is to start calling it the Wuhan disease or the Wuhan or the Chinese disease, and you would have experienced a lot of racism that not experienced. I've even experienced it firsthand here, but then there's a lot of news coming in that people are being racist against the Chinese for this. It's a virus that affects any human. It doesn't really see if you're a Chinese or an Indian. With respect to the markets, to the wet markets, I do want to bring it back home though. While we think that wet markets are only a Chinese thing and, the perception is that, Chinese virus and all of that, India does have a lot of slaughter markets, a lot of animal, meat that is sold that is problematic on two fronts. The first front being the type of meat that is sold. A lot of people don't know that in a lot of fish markets, you do have many illegal breeds and species of fishes that are sold. That's one problem. Often even fingerlings are sold. That's the second problem, because when fingerlings are sold, you're kind of removing the sustainability from the fisheries industry. You have pangolin trade that is happening. Pangolins are the most, vulnerable or the most wildlife trafficking. Sabse zyada hota hai pangolin mein in terms of mammals. This happens in India. So to shun it away saying that, it's a Chinese problem, that's a lesson that we need to see, that, hey, start looking inwards. We have a problem. The second problem with wet markets is the way we manage them, especially in terms of waste. You have streets of lines and the drainage jahan par wo katta hai aur blood and uska jo waste hota hai, the norms exist, but the execution isn't there. So how is this waste really, put out in the drains? That is something we need to look at, because it definitely does have infectious diseases implications. ESF is working on a campaign where we are writing to the Prime Minister's portal. Our volunteers are writing to really just shine light on better management of the slaughterhouses in terms of waste management and the illegal meat that is sold. If not being able to close it completely, because that is a livelihood issue as well, which is another very complicated matter to deal with. So we are working on that campaign to, as a lesson for ourselves and for the organization too. We are applying and putting in petitions where we are requesting better waste management of these slaughterhouses.
Agree, Ms. Sharma. Even if the wet markets are not the origin of coronavirus, even then these wet markets are highly unsupervised and are a hotspot for these superbugs and unsanitization. In India, a large population is dependent on dairy industry owing to its huge demand. And ESF actually initiated a Samvarta program for animal welfare because of the stray cattle problem that roam on the streets and cause road accidents, and are often themselves victims of cruelty and violence. Mr. Ved, keeping in mind the dairy dependence in our country, how achievable do you think adopting this plant-based diet is for a common man?
And see, again, we have to go back to basics, right? हम लोग सब प्रकृति का एक हिस्सा हैं. We are not anything that is really, really special. We consider ourselves special. That's a different story. लेकिन ultimately हम लोग सब एक, that whole thing is common, and we have to understand and learn from nature. तो nature में कुछ चीजें बड़ी specific हैं. कोई भी animal naturally दूसरे animal का दूध नहीं पीता है. ठीक है, number one. Number two, कोई भी animal initial period के बाद दूध नहीं consume करता है. Maybe in humans it's 2 to 4 years, but उसके बाद माँ का भी दूध नहीं consume करता है. Number three, अगर आप एक गाय को देखेंगे तो गाय 1 से 2 साल में करीब 250 किलो की हो जाती है. ज्यादा 250 किलो से भी, maybe 300 to 400 kgs if it's a decent sized cow. ठीक है. एक ह्यूमन जो है 18 साल में भी उस वजन का नहीं होता. गाय का फूड क्या है? गाय टिपिकली चारा खाती है. That's the main part of the diet. So there is a fundamental complexity issue in that. अब वो क्या है कि अपने यहाँ से वो रघुकुल रीत चली आ रही है, तो बस ये है कि भाई नहीं ये चलना चाहिए. But fundamentally it's mucus generated. The milk of another animal, क्योंकि अपने से digest नहीं हो सकता है वो. Bharadwaj ji Rita ji would know this better than me. Mine comes only from reading, so I'm not an authority on this. But it makes sense to me. What makes sense to me is being one with nature. और मैं again, I come totally from a personal experience standpoint. मेरा दिन चालू नहीं होता था दही के बिना. और मेरा खाना, was incomplete if I didn't get a piece of cheese, for example. लेकिन today I cannot take those two things in. It's just a matter of leaving it for some time. फिर आप जब लोगे तो you'll find it rancid, because they are basically ultimately उसको ferment किया गया है, उसको सड़ाया गया है एक तरीके से to create those products, to create those bacteria. So there's again that huge issue. We have to basically look at the nature around us, how it functions. We have to see कि भाई बाकी animals कैसे consume करते हैं चीजों को. Do they do the things that we do? And then my whole learning is experiential. I don't come from a religious background. I don't come from a doctrinal background. I don't come from training either. So मेरा इसकी करके देखो. So try it for a month, try it for 2 months, and then see how it feels. If it feels good, that's okay. But your question is different. Your question is कि dairy industry का क्या होगा? I would say पहले अपने को सोचना चाहिए अपना क्या होगा. Because industry is based on us in the end. It is created. It's a creation. Industry is not that important. In the sense that I say, as a packaging industry person, I say the best thing for us is to stop packaging. All packaging should be stopped. Because nature has wonderful packaging. It doesn't need your packaging. But, okay, that said, and I'm sure I'll find another job. Agar waisa ho gaya, and my battle would be done. I'll be very happy the day that actually happens, because we would be eating better, we would be feeling better, everything would be a lot better. What I also find is that as soon as you stop something, there's a huge amount of innovation that comes in. For example, पिछले 1-2 साल से ये चल रहा है bits and pieces में. COVID की वजह से total downturn ले लिया, but this whole idea of plastic ban, which you guys also experience with animals, and numerous issues are there. What I find is amazing. As soon as, जैसे पिछले साल 2 अक्टूबर की डेट थी, सबके ऊपर चाकू लटका हुआ था कि मोदी जी जरूर कंट्री वाइड बैन अनाउंस कर देंगे. I cannot tell you, शेफाली, कि कितने wherever I traveled, हर जगह हिंदुस्तानी मिल रहे थे for the last preceding 4 months. कि हर जगह people were there. How do we innovate? It was all about innovation. Let's try this. Let's try this. Let's try this. 2 अक्टूबर की डेट गई, सब बंद हो गया. So as soon as you actually take a tough step, कि we will make a lifestyle change, there's a huge amount of innovation that comes in. वो जननी होती है ना, need is the ultimately भाई जरूरत से ही जरूरत ही जननी है, तो उससे ही बदलाव आएगा. So I'm sure ऐसा नहीं होगा कि आप suddenly सबने दूध पीना बंद कर दिया तो बहुत बड़ी दिक्कत आ जाएगी. I'm sure वो जो बछड़ा है जिसका दूध हम छीनते हैं वो खुश हो जाएगा. And ultimately there's a pull. See movies like Forks Over Knives. See, these are actual documentaries. See Earthlings. See what we actually do to in the dairy farms, in the slaughterhouses. There's no dairy which can claim कि जी नहीं मैं अपने बछड़े को वंचित नहीं करती दूध से. That's what it is meant for. So it's a bigger issue than humans. We look at it as human and employment. That's not the issue. वो चलेगा. वो कहीं ना कहीं हो जाएगा. But the bigger issue is, are we living by the laws of nature or not, which are meant to be followed?
I actually read a wonderful news piece just before I started this webinar about how during this pandemic, the dairy consumption in India has increased to 20 to 25%. So that is a great thing. I hope it goes on like this. So during this,
Sad for the calves, but yeah, okay.
It is expected that a lot of people will now be shifting to a plant-based diet. So as a public policy consultant, Ms. Sharma, how economically achievable is the global adoption of a plant-based diet, do you think?
That's a very, very good question. So I think one analogy that I'll draw here, so what we're talking about here is really breaking and shattering entrenched industries. These are industries that have like survived and surviving over years. Livelihoods depend on it. Economic systems depend on it. So to shake it up and really to get an entire country or entire world to really make a pivotal shift, that'll take time. But again, two things. You have a very good analogy with the oil industry and the renewable energy shift that is trying to happen. One example being that Shell itself, being an oil OMC for that matter, Shell is also looking at renewable energy technology. So going back to Krishna's point on innovation, you force the industry to get sort of shaken out of its entrenched roots to take the steps that are really good. And one of the best ways to do it is individual consumption. For all of these industries, whether it's dairy or oil, it comes back to us as consumers because we put the money in their pockets and we create the demand for it, right? So if we drive that and if we make choices, hopefully as a lesson from COVID too, with COVID creating more compulsion that, hey, we need to really rethink our consumption. The hope is that these industries too will find better ways and will find more innovation to sort of pivot to, a plant-based diet. So yeah, that's the hope.
For your insight, Ms. Sharma. My last question is for all three of you. What is the message you would like to give people who want to stay healthy and sustainable in the post-COVID era? Mrs. Bharadawaj, if you would like to start.
Number one, re-engineering of mental, physical, and social well-being. If you want to sustain, if you want to survive in this post-COVID era, then you have to be balanced. Balanced life is the key. That is the only key. बैलेंस्ड होना पड़ेगा आपको अपनी लाइफ में, अपनी फैमिलीज में. बाय द वे, वन थिंग आई फॉरगॉट टू टेल यू दैट टुडे इज वर्ल्ड फैमिली डे एंड द थीम फॉर दिस ईयर इज फैमिलीज इन डेवलपमेंट. The United Nations has projected this theme to stress the importance of families and how much they mean to us in context with COVID-19. So, family or the society is so important to us. एंड ये लॉकडाउन पीरियड में हम सब बहुत अच्छी तरह से समझ गए कि एनवायरनमेंट कितना जरूरी है हमारे लिए. अभी तुमने देखा होगा सब लोग अपनी बालकनीज में, टेरेस पर कोई बैंगन उगा रहा है, कोई टोमेटोज ग्रो करने की कोशिश कर रहा है. तो व्हाट इज दिस? वी वांट टू बैलेंस द लाइफ विद, वी वांट टू कोप अप द लाइफ विद दिस क्राइसिस, राइट? सो इफ वी आर क्रिएटिंग अ बैलेंस बिटवीन क्राइसिस एंड आवर नॉर्मल लाइफ, तो ये ऐसे क्राइसिस हमें कहीं ना कहीं इफेक्ट ही नहीं कर पाएंगे. तो जरूरत सिर्फ इस चीज की है कि हेल्थ के 4 पिलर्स को हम समझें. 4 पिलर्स कौन से? न्यूट्रिशन, एक्सरसाइज एंड पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड एंड प्रॉपर रेस्ट. नींद, कितने सारे लोग एंटी डिप्रेसेंट्स लेते हैं, स्लीपिंग पिल्स लेते हैं, तो ये सब की जरूरत ही नहीं होगी अगर हम ये अपना यूनाइटेड नेशंस का थीम ही फॉलो कर लेंगे, फैमिलीज इन डेवलपमेंट. एंड अगर हम सोसाइटी की तरफ देखेंगे, अगर हम सोसाइटी के लिए कुछ सोचेंगे, पॉजिटिव एटीट्यूड अगर हमारा अपनी लाइफ के लिए होगा, एक्सरसाइज करेंगे, हमें सिर्फ और ज्यादा फिट होना है, बैलेंस करना है लाइफ को, न्यूट्रिशनली, फाइनेंशियली, मेंटली, सोशली। सिर्फ ये टेक होम मैसेज है।
Ms. Bharadwaj. Next, Mr. Ved, if you would like to throw some light on this topic.
So I'll stick to nutrition. तो दो ही चीजें हैं खाली, very simple and straightforward, and I mentioned it right in the beginning. जितना हम alive खाएं, eat alive means don't eat dead food. तो dead food में packaged food भी आ जाता है. कुछ भी अगर आप source के पास जितना खाएंगे, जितनी ताजी सब्जी खाएंगे आप, या जितने ताजे फल खाएंगे आप, जितने, because otherwise we genetically modify them, हम लोग तमाम चीजें करते हैं उसको preserve करने के लिए. But closer to the source and as alive as possible. And second is, which I have not mentioned, and it's not come through somehow, eating on time. That's really important. हम लोग जो है वो हर समय चढ़ते रहते हैं, या फिर कुछ diets होते हैं which I'm told every 2 hours खाना चाहिए, उससे वजन कम होता है. But fundamentally body needs time to digest. So I would say if you can eat within an 8-hour window and let your body rest for 16 hours, it'll be great. You'll see a change. I'm again saying it's an experiential thing. Try it. कि 16 घंटे आप नहीं खाइए, आप रात को जितने भी बजे खाते हैं उसके बाद आप 16 घंटे बाद अगला भोजन लीजिए. You'll find a huge change, and just that one thing will make a big change in your whole digestion. And if your digestion is good, you're sorted. Lots of things are sorted in your life.
Thank you. Ms. Sharma, if you would like to say something.
So last message to our viewers, right? I would say that a civilization that doesn't learn from history is doomed to fail. This is a huge, huge lesson for us. The sacrifices that we've made, Ms. Rita mentioned families and the importance of family. I think there's no family that's not been touched by this tragedy of COVID-19. These sacrifices are really just going to go to absolute, waste if we don't learn from it. Again, as a family, for our viewers, if you can make a decision as a family to just, use all of the tips and the expert advice that we had from our nutritionist and Mr. Ved, who brings such a deep personal experience of his own, if you can really incorporate any of that to stay healthy, not just for yourself, but also to ensure that we behave better towards the planet and ensure our planet's health, because again, it'll keep coming back to us. So yeah, that's my last little take. Do we have you, Shefali? I think you're stuck.
Shefali seems frozen.
Yeah, she seems frozen. I think what we were going to do was try to take some questions. So why don't I see if we have any questions on the live video?
Sure.
Where is, just wait. Oh, just see if Shefali needs to be admitted on the Zoom. Go back to the Zoom. Or I'll just go to our page and I'll just see if we have any questions and we can take those. All right, so just looking at any comments that came up while the our viewers were online.
While you're looking, can I add one thing?
Yes, please.
जब आप देख रहे हो, and I think Rita ji could probably throw more light on it if you don't find questions. जो ये पूरा what I've realized with myself, Rita ji, is that जैसे जैसे मेरा diet बदला है, there is a certain amount of connectivity that is increased, and that I think takes us back to जो पूरा हम लोगों का ethos है of सात्विक, राजसिक और तामसिक भोजन का, वो एक बहुत बड़ा पार्ट प्ले करता है. एंड बहुत जरूरी है ये समझना कि हम किस टाइप का जीवन व्यतीत करना चाह रहे हैं. तो अगर हम लड़ाई झगड़े वाला जीवन व्यतीत करना चाह रहे हैं तो हो सकता है तामसिक भोजन का ज्यादा वैल्यू हो, और अगर हम दुनियादारी का भोजन इस्तेमाल जीवन करना चाह रहे हैं व्यतीत, तो राजसिक. और अगर हम थोड़ा सा अर्थ कनेक्टेड, प्रकृति कनेक्टेड, यूनिवर्स कनेक्टेड जीवन जीना चाह रहे हैं, यूनिवर्स गाइडेड जीवन जीना चाह रहे हैं, तो मैंने ये देखा है कि जैसे जैसे हम सात्विक भोजन की तरफ जाते हैं, एक ऑटोमेटिकली, बिकॉज भोजन जो है वो हमें बनाता है, हमारा जो हर अंश है वो जिस टाइप का भोजन हम खाएंगे उससे बनेगा. तो so I
Yes,
found at least
very
in my
true,
life
very
कि
true.
बहुत powerful है, धीरे धीरे बदलाव आता है, परंतु आप देख सकते हो little shifts, the ideas flow better.
Yes, very
Now,
true, very well said. एक्चुअली ये तो जब मैं बैलेंस डाइट की बात कर रही थी तो ये एक हिडन मैसेज था ही कि बैलेंस डाइट मीन्स आपका प्रकृति को देख करके बैलेंस होना चाहिए। तामसिक सात्विक भोजन है या आपका भोजन का जो तासीर है, गर्म है या ठंडा है, वो देख करके भोजन खाना चाहिए। मीट एंड मीट प्रोडक्ट्स आर नोन टू बी तामसिक प्रवृत्ति के फूड्स। अगर आप इस तरह के फूड आइटम्स खाएंगे, आपका वही जैसा अभी आपने बोला झगड़ा वाला प्रवृत्ति होगा। दैट इज वेरी ट्रू। हमारे जो साधु लोग थे, सन्यासी लोग थे, जो जितने ज्यादा स्पिरिचुअल थे, वो सब सात्विक फूड करते लेते थे। तो जैसा खाएं अन्न वैसा होगा मन, दिस इज ट्रू, 100% ट्रू। तो ये तो कोई सवाल ही नहीं है कि अगर हम प्रकृति के हिसाब से खाना खाएँगे तो हमें कितने ज़्यादा बेनिफिट्स मिलेंगे। तो हमेशा हमें ये चीज़ देख कर के ही खाना चाहिए। किसी जानवर को, किसी प्लांट को भी इनफैक्ट हमने दुखी करके अगर खाना खाया, तो वो खाना हमें कैसे डाइजेस्ट होगा या वो किन वाइब्रेशंस के साथ हम खा रहे हैं। हमारा एटमॉस्फेयर भी पॉजिटिव होना चाहिए, पॉजिटिव वाइब्रेशंस बहुत ज़रूरी हैं। तो अगर एक गाय को ऑक्सीटोसिन का इंजेक्शन दे करके ज़्यादा मिल्किंग उससे लेने के चक्कर में और उसे तंग करके आपने दूध लिया और वो हमें मिल्क पीने को मिल रहा है, तो कहीं न कहीं वो गाय की भी तो नेगेटिव वाइब्रेशंस उसमें जाएँगी। तो ये एक बिकॉज़ वी आर इंडियंस एंड वी फॉलो दीज़ ऑल स्पिरिचुअल थिंग्स। हम ये सब में बहुत ज़्यादा मानते हैं, पॉजिटिव वाइब्रेशंस, नेगेटिव वाइब्रेशंस एंड अन्न अच्छा होना चाहिए, तभी मन शुद्ध होगा, शुद्ध भोजन होना चाहिए, साफ-सुथरा भोजन होना चाहिए, फ्रेशली कुक्ड भी होना चाहिए। हमारे यहाँ पे तो ट्रेडिशन होता है हर इंडियन फैमिली में कि नहा करके ही किचन में जाया करते थे। जो पुराने ज़माने में जितने भी हमारे मम्मी को, दादी को, नानी को देखिए, नहाए बिना वो छूते नहीं थे। अभी हम कोरोना एरा में बोल रहे हैं कि बार-बार आप हाथ धोइए, क्लीन करिए सब चीज़ों को, तो ये तो हमारे ट्रेडिशंस में ही था। तो जब आप अपने ट्रेडिशंस को फ़ॉलो करते हैं, तो रूट्स के साथ जुड़े हुए होते हैं, तो ऑटोमैटिकली आप उन तामसिक प्रवृत्तियों से या इस तरह के फूड से ऑटोमैटिकली दूर हो जाते हैं। तो आपका लाइफ बैलेंस करने का सिर्फ तरीका एक सीधा सिंपल होना चाहिए। किसी भी जानवर को दुखी किए बिना, किसी भी इंसान को दुखी किए बिना अगर आपने खाना खाया है, तो जैसा होगा अन्न वैसा होगा मन। अगर शुद्ध खाना खाएँगे तो शुद्ध होगा मन। तो ये बिल्कुल सिंपल सा फंडा है कि आप हमेशा सात्विक प्रवृत्ति का खाना खाएँगे तो आप ज़्यादा स्पिरिचुअल होंगे और अपने अर्थ से, अपनी जड़ों से हमेशा जुड़े रहेंगे। दिस इज़ ट्रू।
thank you, ma'am. I would actually like to correct myself. I meant that the dairy consumption demand has gone down by 20 to 25%, and that's a good thing, not the opposite.
Right.
So I'm sorry for that.
That's okay. I realized that later.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so now coming to the questions that have been sent by the viewers on Facebook. First is for Mr. Ved. This is sent by John Abbas. He says that I have tried quitting meat for 64 days and I haven't touched it. But I still crave meat, although it's said that 21 days is enough to break your habit, but I still struggle. So if you have any suggestions for him, it would be really good.
So I have different takes on this. Again, it's a more complex subject than John is thinking of. Again, 21 days is good for a simple habit change, but definitely not food habit change, because food, according to me, is actually, and I think one of us, I think Rita ji maybe mentioned this in passing, food जो है वो genetic memory से भी linked रहता है. तो for example, मेरे जो forefathers थे वो typically vegetarians थे. तो उससे क्या हुआ कि मेरी जो प्रवृत्ति थी वो हमेशा जो है वेजिटेरियनिज्म की तरफ ज्यादा थी in terms of digestion. I could sort of feel it, which is like even when I ate meat regularly, I could feel that I was more sluggish. Whereas मेरे बहुत दोस्त हैं जिनको मीट के बिना उनको चलेगा ही नहीं काम, and it's a deeper issue. So it is not John Abbas that is been following a meat diet. Probably, and this is an assumption again. So probably it is hundreds of years of meat eating. Each cell, each DNA, each gene carries that memory. तो वो जो है इतना simple नहीं है. I cannot tell a person in Greenland to start becoming a plant-based diet. He'll die, right? So yeah, he'll transport food all the way. So there is a certain genetic memory that is also held by humans. And ultimately we cannot, जो मेरा realization है कि it is not just, and Rita ji mentioned about palatability, it is actually more mental than palate, because palate also changes with mental shift. वो गाजर भी अच्छा लगने लग जाता है जब there is a mental shift. So I would say that like enjoy the vegetarian food first, and that will lead you to go get away from meat. And Rita ji mentioned very nicely कि it's not a one day thing कि तुरंत छोड़ दिया. हो सकता है भाई, it's maybe a gradual thing. You eat one thing and you see how you feel, and it will be a sustained sort of effort towards liking something else more, and that enabling you to leave rather than you leaving and missing something. So rather than missing something, you be attracted to something else. So that might make it easier.
I hope.
And
he
here,
finds
and
this
here
very
I
helpful.
Here I want to add one thing.
Yes, ma'am.
If one want to change his or her food habits, then positive affirmations, meditation, positive mental attitude, and family support, that is also very important. So first he has to be mentally firm. Yes, मुझे छोड़ना है, and फिर family का support भी होना चाहिए. उसके सामने अगर कोई बैठ करके खा रहा है और वाह कितना बढ़िया गोश्त बना है ऐसा बोल रहा है, तो वो बेचारा पर्सन नहीं सस्टेन कर पाएगा फूड हैबिट्स को चेंज करने में. तो पॉजिटिव अफर्मेशंस, मेडिटेशंस, मेंटली बिल्कुल एकदम फर्म होना जरूरी है, एंड ग्रेजुअली चेंजेस हमेशा लाइफ लॉन्ग चेंजेस होते हैं. एंड कभी भी फूड हैबिट को चेंज होने में 90 डेज का एक थंब रूल फॉलो करना पड़ता है. इट इज 90 डेज थंब रूल. 90 डेज अगर सरवाइव कर लिया तो वो एक फूड चेंज हैबिट में आ जाएगा. तो स्टिक रहें अपने प्लान पर, 90 डेज तक फॉलो करें, एंड देन आई एम श्योर with positive attitude, with mental firmness, with family support, he will करेंगे अपने आप को change.
26 days only to go, John.
Miss Bharadawaj, the next question is for you as well. This is from my viewer Yash Sharma. He asks, what is the best diet for an older person in this period, in the COVID pandemic period that we are living in?
Again, fresh food, simple food, डाइजेस्ट होने में जो सुपाच्य हो, आसानी से पच जाए, फ्रेशली कुक्ड फूड, एंड फूड रिच इन माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स एंड इम्यूनिटी बूस्टर्स. जो जितना भी मैंने वो लिस्ट बोला था ना, ORAC हायर वैल्यू का, हायर स्कोर ऑफ ORAC जिसमें भी है तुलसी, सिनेमन, जिंजर एंड पार्सले, देन क्यूमिन सीड्स, जितने भी स्पाइसेस एंड कॉन्डिमेंट्स हमारी किचन में है, दे ऑल आर इम्यूनिटी बूस्टर्स. तो इस वक्त जो एल्डरली पीपल का हमें ख्याल रखना है, सबसे पहले तो उनकी डाइट में माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स को इंक्रीज करना है. माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स को इंक्रीज करने के 2 तरीके हैं. नंबर 1, फ्रूट्स एंड वेजिटेबल्स, जो इस वक्त हमें इतने मिल नहीं पा रहे, लॉकडाउन एंड ऑल, सप्लाई चेन का इशू, तो हम वो इतने अभी ले नहीं पा रहे. तो दूसरा ऑप्शन क्या है? दूसरा ऑप्शन है द रिच सोर्सेज एंड कॉन्सेंट्रेटेड सोर्सेज ऑफ माइक्रो न्यूट्रिएंट्स. वो हमारी किचन में है एंड भरपूर है. तो तुलसी से लेकर के जितने भी आपको मसाले मिलते हैं, इट कैन बी मेस, इट कैन बी बे लीफ, इट कैन बी सिनेमन, इट कैन बी क्यूमिन सीड्स, इट कैन बी फेन्यूग्रीक, फेनल सीड्स. Each and every condiment and spices has ORAC score, higher score of ORAC, and they are immunity boosters. Then hot water, fresh food, easy to digest, मतलब जैसे खिचड़ी है, दलिया है, porridge है, and if milk है तो it should be skimmed milk. बहुत heavy meal हम उन्हें नहीं दे सकते, and most important, meal timings, 3 meals in a day, but in between some snacking or micronutrient rich food or some beverages. And last but not the least, water intake. 8 to 10 glasses of water in any form of beverage should be given to them. आधी से ज्यादा प्रॉब्लम्स तो डिहाइड्रेटेड होने की वजह से होती हैं. आई होप इतना सा फॉलो करेंगे तो यश अपने एल्डर पीपल का, अपने दादी दादा का, नानी नाना का बहुत अच्छे से ख्याल रख पाएंगे.
Yes, ma'am, definitely. My next question is for Ms. Sharma. Vanshika Joshi asks, will shifting completely to a plant-based diet negatively impact or affect our ecosystem balance?
Shifting completely to a plant-based diet, whether that will negatively impact our ecosystem, is that the question?
Yes.
So 2 things. Again, you have to see it's a systematic change, right? So when you shift, ecosystem damage can be seen in terms of your climate footprint, your carbon footprint, your water consumption, like how intensive is the water, the shift, how much water will that use up? So sure, it can't be like, I can't give you a formula directly, but what I can say is the meat and especially the beef industry, highly carbon intensive. It releases a lot of greenhouse gases, which is not good for the environment, especially contributing to the climate change. Secondly, if you see, if you, in the hypothetical scenario that we completely shift to plant-based, you have to see the kind of crops that we'll be growing. Agriculture is a land-intensive operation. So I'm not saying that a plant-based, industry is going to be a panacea for our environment. You can't make that claim. So you have to really think of the water impact, especially, and soil impact, because agriculture is a land-intensive process. One very good sort of emphasis that has started coming out is on millets. Millets, your ragi ho gaya, bajra ho gaya. They're not water-thirsty crops. Sugarcane is a very water-thirsty crop. Rice is a very water-thirsty crop. So is wheat. So if you look at bajra and millets, I'm sure, Ms. Rita, I'm sure will like to add that bajra and millets and aapka ragi ho gaya, that's very good for your health as well. And because they're not water intensive or water thirsty crops, when you grow this, especially in areas like Rajasthan or Maharashtra, Vidarbha, there's no reason why we should be growing sugarcane. But it is grown. And, Vidarbha, aapka Latur ho gaya, drought, consecutive years of drought you're facing. So yeah, we can't make a claim that, shifting to plant-based industry, all environment problem solved. No, we have to be very smart about how we plan the agricultural processes if we do shift. Again, going back to really choosing your crops and empowering the farmers to choose sustainable and smart agriculture and climate smart practices for agriculture.
Can I just add to that, Chandarprabha? What I'm told, and you are a more better read person in this domain. लेकिन मेरे को जो हिंदुस्तान में हो सकता है ना हो ऐसा, but I'm told कि lot of the agriculture that happens around the world is actually for animal feeding, whether it's soy, which is for this, a lot of it is alfalfa, corn, जो human नहीं consumption, ऐसे varieties जो humans consume नहीं करते हैं. They actually, most of the land, a lot of the land, because again, you talked about carbon emissions through the dairy beef industry. लेकिन अगर आप देखें तो again the consumption of food जो एक animal को बनाने में लगता है, food and पानी, is huge. So मेरा जो समझना है, and again, like I cannot possibly challenge your authority on this, but जो मेरा जितना समझ है, I actually feel otherwise. I feel कि the amount of land use will reduce if theoretically, if we were to all shift to a plant-based diet and there were no animals to be fed, तो worldwide जो है ज़्यादातर जो जमीन है वो जाती है animals की feeding में, because लोग ज़्यादा animals खाते हैं. तो animals को खाना खिलाने के लिए जो भी 30 टन खाना खाती है गाय in whatever period, तो उसको बनाने के लिए काफी जाता है. That is what I have read so far. So I don't know, again, there are documentaries like Forks Over Knives which talk a lot more in detail about that and how the ecology will actually benefit. So I'm not so sure about the agriculture.
Yeah, so not to comment on whether there will be a complete reduction or an increase, because there's so many causality factors that are involved when you make this change, right? But again, so it'll need a lot of like econometric analysis and like modeling to see which factor and which variable moves how. But how twisted is the thought that we grow plants to feed animals and then feed ourselves? Which again should be the emphasis here, that if you do want to shift to a plant-based diet, what are the choices? How do you strategically shift in a way that is climate smart, water smart, land, efficient in a way? And also coming back to your point earlier where you said consume local. Because whenever we consume things like, avocado coming from California, or like almonds coming from California for that matter, there was an entire carbon footprint in the supply chain. There was water involved and everything. You consume local, and as a consumer, so I'm sure that, the individuals also watching, maybe you can do something as simple as see the products that you use in daily lives, consider shifting from rice to maybe millets and ragi. Simple things like just see the carbon and water footprint of each of your daily use product, and then try to make a shift which is not just good for the planet, but good for your health too.
Local and seasonal. I think Rita ji would agree to that. Seasonal is a
yes, sure. Local, seasonal and freshly grown. ऐसा भी नहीं कि पुरानी चीजें आप राइटली सेड कि एवोकाडो आप वहां से मंगवा रहे हैं, या कैलिफोर्निया से आपको बादाम मंगवाने पड़ रहे हैं, या एप्पल्स आप शिमला से मंगाते हैं, 3-4 महीने तक वो एप्पल का प्रोसेसिंग ही चल रहा होता है। वो एक होलसेलर से रिटेल के पास आता है, रिटेलर से ठेले वाले के पास आता है, ठेले वाले के पास से वो कब हमारे पास आता है वो यू नेवर नो। तो बेटर है अगर सीजनल वाटरमेलन है तो वाई टू कंज्यूम एप्पल्स। सीजनल फूड पर ज्यादा फोकस होना चाहिए। सिंपल सा एक फंडा होना चाहिए जो इस वक्त मार्केट में ढेर में दिख रहा है, हर तुमको लारी वाला के पास, ठेला वाला के पास दिख रहा है, भरपूर जो चीजें दिख रही हैं और सीजनल है, तुमको पता है कि इसमें कुछ भी अडल्ट्रेशन नहीं हो सकता, इसके ऊपर वैक्स का कोटिंग नहीं हो सकता, इसको स्टोरेज के लिए, इसका शेल्फ लाइफ इंक्रीज करने के लिए कोई टॉक्सिक केमिकल्स यूज नहीं किए होंगे। तो वी शुड कंज्यूम दैट फूड ओनली, फ्रेशली ग्रोन और सीजनल, और जिसका शेल्फ लाइफ कम हो, ऐसा फूड हमें खाना चाहिए। बहुत ज्यादा टाइम तक उसको रखना है क्योंकि इसका शेल्फ लाइफ बहुत है। फॉर एग्जांपल आमंड्स हैं, आप सालों साल, आपके कितने सारे लोगों के घरों में मैंने देखा है साल भर से बादाम पड़े हैं, बादाम में क्या खराब होता है? हर फूड आइटम का एक शेल्फ लाइफ है, या तो आपको उस शेल्फ लाइफ का कंप्लीटली अंडरस्टैंडिंग होना चाहिए। यू शुड नो ईच एंड एवरी फूड प्रोडक्ट्स शेल्फ लाइफ। अगर वो नहीं मालूम है तो एक थंब रूल हम बना लें कि फ्रेशली ग्रोन जो चीजें हैं, जो फ्रेशली अवेलेबल है मार्केट में, सिर्फ वो ही लेकर आएं, और थोड़े टाइम के लिए जो जिनको हमको स्टोर करके रखना पड़े उतना ही लेकर के आएं और उसे खाएं। जैसा कि हमारे पूर्वज किया करते थे। वो लोग थोड़ी कोई स्टोर कर करके बड़े बड़े फ्रिज, इतने बड़े फ्रिज किसी के घर में नहीं थे। सुबह का खाना बनाने के लिए रात को ला करके रखते थे, रात का खाना बनाने के लिए सुबह को ला के रखते थे। उतना हम नहीं कर सकते, बट एटलीस्ट सालों के लिए, महीनों के लिए स्टोर करके रखने की हैबिट हमें चेंज कर देनी चाहिए। इनफैक्ट वो पूरा सप्लाई चेन में चेंज होना चाहिए।
Yes, ma'am. I think this more than answered Vanshika's question. My next question is for Mr. Krishna. Akarshita Tomar asks, in our fast and busy life, how do we achieve a packaging-free diet?
Well, that's a good one. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. You have put me in this. So for me, for example, आज के दिन में I eat raw vegan, which is trying to be very near primates. मतलब कि जो हमारे सबसे closest cousins हैं, वो जो खाते हैं, उनके हिसाब से मैं खा रहा हूँ। तो मेरा तो खाने का समय बहुत घट गया है। लाने का समय खाना, I am not so sure because most of the things, many of the things are grown जहाँ पे मैं रहता हूँ। तो I can eat very very local. But आज के दिन में I only consume raw food. So if I'm only consuming raw food, तो समय बहुत कम लगता है, काट के खाना ही है। तो चाहे वो आम हो, चाहे वो खीरा हो, चाहे वो गाजर हो, तो it is okay, some salad dressing or something like that, but that's it. So of course, but I assume that that's not an easy thing for people to shift too. But I'm sure there will be ways to do it quickly. And again, life is not about fast and furious in the end. Life is about taking a step back also. And life is about priorities. I think time is a loose entity in the end. कि भाई ultimately time is about हमारे priority क्या है. तो अगर आपकी priority आपकी health है, नहीं तो आप हो सकता है बाकी आप समय health के ऊपर दूसरे तरीके से बिताएं future में. So अगर आप proactive कार्य करने में, if you look at it that way, it might take a little bit longer, I agree, and it should, because food is a whole communion of senses. तो वो सारे जो अपने senses हैं वो involve होते हैं food में, whether it's smell, touch, feel, everything is part of that whole taste, of course. So that whole experience needs to be nurtured. And I would say we should create time for food, because food is what will create us, and that is what we will deliver to the world.
Thank you, Ms. Krishna. Our last question of the site is from Singh to Chandarprabha ma'am. How do we move forward as a community and shift from a human-centric world to a more sustainable world?
Oh, wow. This is a question of internal reflection. No expert is going to be able to tell us that. This is literally us sitting down and just asking ourselves, how have we behaved with the planet? Why do we pretend, or why do we behave in a way like there's another planet waiting out there for us? Or, like One Health, like I mentioned, it's a very simple definition. अगर किसी को बताएं कि हाँ, इसका definition ये है कि हमारा health उससे affect होता है, मतलब जो पर्यावरण के साथ या plant के साथ हम करते हैं, that also affects us. So people will usually be like, oh, why is that even a term? Why does it have to be a concept as such? It does have to be a concept because we forget. So the question that as a society, how do we change? It really does take a very eco-conscious sort of self-reflection every single day with every single step. And you will, you will forget. Like sometimes I can be a little very obsessed with, okay, what am I doing and how am I being wasteful of natural resources? But I forget to turn the fan off, for example, in a very simple example. But one thing that can help is what affects you a lot. So our previous question was asked by Akarshita, who's a very dedicated ESF volunteer for animal welfare. So if you take her example for that matter, and her question was on packaging, and coming back to this question on how do we, as a community become more eco-conscious, use what clicks to you and use what resonates with you. So in Akarshita's example, if she just thinks of the fact that if I take a polythene bag, and I know she does, she's very conscious. If she thinks that if I take a polythene bag and I throw it later, it will end up in that landfill where a cow will be feeding. It could have been one of those cows that she was helping, right? So use that one little thing that really triggers you, and or not just trigger, but then what resonates with you. Do you care about water a lot? Do you care about your children's future? A lot of people I've seen have actually made the switch from the kind of lifestyle that they were living to a more eco-conscious, because they realize what kind of planet we'll be leaving behind for their children. We did a little exercise with ESF, which was a little drawing competition, and somebody had a very nice drawing. A child drew it, and it was a little reminder to their parents that they stuck on the door, and it said that, hey, mom and dad, please don't forget taking a bag from from home instead of using the plastic bag. Just the little step will keep my planet safe for me in the future. I've got calls from parents saying that, we've practically changed the way we used to be because our children are actually now inspiring us to make that change. And that's true. Children are becoming generally more eco-conscious. So, the question here is just internally sort of introspect and reflect and think what resonates with you and why would you want to make that change, instead of an external person coming and saying that you need to do this because the carbon footprint and all of that thing. So yeah, I hope I could help a little in that. Shefali, your audio is...
Yeah, sorry. Thank you so much, everyone. This was an insightful and thrilling and engaging session. We at ESF certainly hope that this will inspire many to take sustainability, health, and environment seriously. I stay safe, stay healthy, and stay sustainable. Thank
It
you.
was great
Thank you.
talking to
Thank you for having us.
Bye. Thanks to our viewers. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
you. Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.